Well, that doesn't look terrible up there, does it? I don't know, it looks alright, I guess. It's not perfect, but it'll do. Let's have a look at this side. About the same. Kind of had to suck it in with the sheet metal screws for now. So I'll take it back off. And I got this little strip of metal. This was expensive. I didn't feel like looking around for a better deal. You wouldn't believe what I paid for that. But I just need some, this is just cold rolled steel too. I just need some smaller stuff. And IMS is not cheap on that stuff. So I'll just cut a couple pieces of this. I'm going to weld those in place up there. And then I'll drill and tap it so I can use the original type screws. Of course, I got those in stainless steel from Wolfsburg West, so it'll look nice when I get it all done and painted. And I'll put the stainless screws in after. Get that all trimmed up and welded in. Well, up here there's so many layers of paint. I just went ahead and hit this with some some of the stripper I had left. You know, it's gonna sure is faster to use stripper. I'll tell you. I mean, it's that the stripping wheels are really nice for smaller areas, but if you're gonna do like a whole car, I would suggest trying the chemical stripper. With done with the whatever it's called, fluoride. I don't know, this stuff that I guess they're trying to make it illegal probably. But anyway, there's so many layers on here. It's just much easier to do that first, and it comes off a little bit easier. But there's still a lot of layers. You still got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers. There's like 10. Take off like 4 layers with one coat of stripper. So if I did it one more time with stripper, it'd probably come right down, but I'm out. So I'll just use the stripping wheel from here on out. Get the rest of that stripped off of there. And look at this wonderful piece of remnant. I didn't want to buy a whole sheet. It was just about $15 more to buy a whole sheet. But I just needed some strips for the metal. I didn't want to have a whole big old sheet sitting out here. So I'll cut some of these off and then get those ready. I'm just going to make, instead of making, you know, I was going to buy a whole sheet and then just cut off a 1.5 inch strip all the way along. Maybe I can get a better picture like that. Kind of was going to cut off a 1.5 inch strip all the way and then weld it on the top edge. That'd be easier to manage in smaller pieces. Trying to cut one long piece 8 feet long would be kind of hard. So I just thought, I'll just do it this way, and then it's going to get bent and everything else. So 4-foot pieces, I think that's 4 feet. I'm going to guess. I didn't measure it, but I'm pretty sure it's a half sheet. Then I'll get this thing cleaned up and get outside and weld this on here. And then I'll have some more sheet metal for roof patches. And that's probably all the sheet metal I need. I do need to make some floor patches still for the front floor and a few other little things. So anyway, we will move on with this project, and I'll just go ahead and get that put in. I'll talk to you later in the video. Yeah, if you look here, it's a little wavy and stuff. A couple low spots. I'll probably knock those out. I think it's a little low right here, just from looking at it. And this one here, I lapped all of it, and the reason is a very gradual roundness, easy to hide the overlap metal, and it's round going up here. It's very easy to hide that with filler, and it won't crack there, just the way it is. So the ones around the corner here, I wanted to kind of butt the top edge and stuff like that, because of how sharp of a turn it is, and would have like really thick triple layered metal or quadruple layered metal there. So I had to do a little bit more with that one. This one here is not that bad, and then the top edge, you don't have to worry about too much, because I can just come down into that easily. So anyway, it doesn't look perfect, and of course, again, I'm not expecting it to. When I get done, when it's all fillered, it'll be looking really nice. I'm not going to try and do that on metal with this job, for sure. These really bad ones I've done, the last two projects I did, were in pretty bad shape. So this one here is, an unsavable car, and we're saving it. So this is what you got to do to do it. I saw a comment. Again, the reason I address these is not because, I think, if anything, I just want them not to mislead people. I saw a comment that said, I want to know which company you're buying, what kind of, grinding wheels you're buying, because, I'll buy stock in that company. Well, I got another thing to say to them is, look, might want to buy some stock in Eastwood and some of these companies that are selling all these metal tools. You could have a garage full of those things and spend a fortune, way more than what I spent on grinding wheels. So that settles that, doesn't it? Believe me, they're the ones making money. It's not the grinding wheel companies. Well, it looks like I've got one more hole to fill here, so I'll just go ahead and get that one going. Maybe I'll finish that in this video. I don't know. I gotta clean this all out. Look at this dust in there. Can't go over that. So I'll clean that out real quick, and then that's all from playing around with this roof. Got a little more to do up there. If I fill that in, then at least I won't have to worry about more dust getting in this hole. Well, check this out. I used the plasma cutter to cut the top edge. I thought it'd be kind of fun to try. Maybe I'll do it on video next time. I just wanted to show you guys that. And I'm going to push these out with a screwdriver like that to get that to line up, and then so it'll roll down the correct way. And then I cut a little bit wide over here, but that's all right. I can fill that in. Yeah. Just takes a little more time with the welder. You know, I get a lot of burn through. I'll run my heat up a little hot. You notice the welds are pretty flat, you know, on this one. Pretty flat over here because I'm running the heat hot enough to where I get good penetration and not a lot of wire. I just don't want to have too much grinding. Of course, always going to have a lot of grinding to do. So anyway, let's move on. Here's my welder settings right now. I had it at like 14.7 and it was too hot, burning through a lot. So it just, sometimes when you turn this thing on, it changes a little bit. Don't the same settings, you might have to keep adjusting it, but it works great. All right, so that's all done. Well, not done. Just got a little bit more grinding to do. I didn't want to do it all right now. And the roof section is pretty much done. I'm gonna pound it out a little bit more. If you, just so you know, if you were doing your own and you ended up with an area that you couldn't get to the backside of it and you had too low of an area, you can always use the fiberglass reinforced filler. They have that one called kitty hair. You know, that's Evercoat stuff. But I'm just saying they have that, and you could put that on and then put your filler over that. And, you know, I've done that before many years ago, and I'd never had an issue with that cracking after using that stuff. That stuff really doesn't crack. So if you put the regular filler over it, it is fiberglass reinforced. So, you know, I don't like using it because of the, you can get the stuff all over your arms and stuff. But it ends up looking pretty cool. It gets it done. Just depends on what you're doing. I mean, I used to fix rust holes with that stuff and didn't even use metal. We didn't have MIG welders. You know, they were really, really expensive. And it was torch welding in the very beginning, back when I was 16, 17, 18 years old. Then they started getting MIG welders out. And a friend of mine had one, did a lot of repairs with his. And but I never had one myself until about 90, I think 95, 96 is when I got mine. So that's when they became affordable. Before that, they were like $1,500, and that was a lot of money back then. That was like, might as well say 10 grand today. So anyway, I mean, cars like this, you could pick up a project car for $100 or $300. So that's how much they were. Very little money. So anyway, so the one like this would still be very cheap even then. Nobody would want it, actually. I'd be surprised anybody would actually redo one of these. Anyway, that's it for this video. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed it and learned some new things. I'll talk to you. And some people, you know, some people just don't learn. They just come over and watch something and put a hateful comment down, or, you know, or some crazy comment that doesn't even make any sense. And then, because they just don't know that we're saving an unsavable car, say watch one video and that's it. So anyway, if you're new, go back to the beginning. You'll see why I'm not doing everything butt welded and perfect, because this thing would be just unsavable. Like, if I wanted to do it that way, I would never finish it. Talk to you in the next one. Please like, share, and subscribe.